That we welcome you back to Get Up. We're live as always above the Heineken River Deck at Pier 17. Jam-packed for hour number 2. NBA action, spectacular last night. One of the great performances in postseason history, and that is not an exaggeration. Game 4 in Indy belonged to Tyrese Haliburton. He was pushing all night long. And then Aaron Nesmith, where's the ankle? He didn't have any ankle problem at all.
Oh, the ankle's there. That's where it is, and it's doing just fine. And it looked great on that possession and on defense as well.
And Haliburton, Jay, looked great all night long.
I mean, if you don't see little splashes of Magic Johnson, Steve Nash, and Steph Curry all blended in this game, I'm not saying it's on that level, but it's getting there.
He had 20 and 10 at the half. Pacers by 5 at halftime, third quarter. More Haliburton finding his spot.
Where's the defense?
Come on.
Allen is frustrated
there's
watching
drop
it.
coverage, and there's dropping all the way to the front row, and then there's 30-footers.
And
You can't defend that.
Oh, he's doing the Jalen Brunson celebration. Would it come back to cost him? Was it premature, like the choke sign the other night? Fourth quarter, Knicks down 13, but Mikal Bridges bringing him back. He would make 4 threes. That one cut it to 10. Then it's Brunson, no. Towns, yes. Oh, my goodness, it's a 6-point game. But, Jay, every time the Knicks would raise a question, the answer was Tyrese Haliburton.
I mean, no rim protection at all.
Defense terrible. Dad back in the building. He had a 32-point triple-double with 0 turnovers. Then here's a moment late. Nesmith and Karl Anthony Towns colliding. They bump knees here. Towns goes down. He would stay in the game. We'll check in on that, obviously, for tomorrow night's Game 5. But here we go, Allen. One last gasp for the Knicks. They need to stop desperately. Down 7, 1 minute left. What happened?
No communication there as both go to the roll man and Obi Toppin. That's the first 3 he's hit in the series. It was a big one.
Obi Toppin with a monster dagger last night. But the story is Haliburton. He is the first player since they started keeping track of turnovers to have 30 points, 15 assists, and 0 turnovers in a playoff game. He's also the first Pacer ever to record multiple career playoff triple-doubles. He was spectacular. Here he was after the game.
I feel like I let the team down in Game 3. I feel like I could have been so much better. So I felt like I responded the right way today.
We've been a team that has kind of found a way to do the impossible when it always seemed impossible. You know, we just keep fighting. So it's going to be a testament to our whole playoff run. You know, now we have to be in one of the biggest fights of our lives and of our season, and it starts with next game.
Which is tomorrow night, Game 5 at the Garden. Knicks playing for their postseason lives. Chiney, Ogwumike, and Brian Windhorst up early with us from OKC, where they'll have a Game 5 tonight. Windy, we can say a lot of things. We can put up X's and O's. We can do a lot of things. At the end of the day, Tyrese Haliburton played one of the great games of all time, and more than anything, that's the reason Indiana went up 3-1.
Yeah, this is a team that thrives. Forget about the actual counting statistics, which are incredibly impressive. This is a team that thrives on his speed with the ball. He is the octane that gets them running. And so when you look at his stats, you're obviously look at the points and assists, but let me just point to 12 rebounds. When he gets the defensive rebound, he can start the break. He doesn't have to wait for that extra pass. His throw-aheads are incredible. And when you look at the fact that he generated 15 of 23 shooting, I just want to bring that up. He threw 23 passes that led to shots. His team hit 15 of them, which yes means his team was on, but it meant he put them in great position to score. That generated all those points, no turnovers. The efficiency is literally off the charts. He did absolutely everything you could ever want from a star and a point guard and a fast-paced team with no mistakes all in one.
I feel a need to read the numbers because we didn't have them with specificity. He had 32 points, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, 0 turnovers. I mean, quite literally the perfect game
4 steals.
from Tyrese Haliburton.
4 steals, exactly.
Plus 4 steals. He was unbelievable last night. Didn't block any shots. I have to work on that. But Chiney, Ogwumike, it wasn't just him. It feels like the Pacers in general and their coach, Rick Carlisle, are just pushing all of the right buttons in the 3 of the 4 games in this series they've won.
Oh, absolutely. And as you mentioned, it wasn't just Tyrese Haliburton who was sensational. He was actually surgical. You see that type of stat line and you think, oh, 30 plus, 15 assists, all those things. The 0 turnovers tells me that he's an advanced reader of the defense. But it was Pascal Siakam as well. Because every great passer needs a good running mate. And Pascal Siakam is that prototypical type of player, perfect for Tyrese. He runs the lane super well. He had 30 points again. In the fourth quarter, when it mattered most, he had 11 of those points and went 2 for 2 for 3. If you think about his maturation in the NBA, everyone knows that he can eat. He thrives in transition. There's no better team. There's no team more perfect and also a teammate more perfect than Pascal to Tyrese.
Jay, you look ready to burst out of your seat. First take.
All right. I'm not saying he is a top 10 greatest point guard of all time.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow. I would hope not.
Here we go. Okay.
You're going yet.
But you love him. You love Tyrese Haliburton.
There is an opportunity for him. I mean, watch him play. There are flashes of Magic. There are flashes of Stockton. There are flashes of some of the most brilliant point guards of our generation. Mm-hmm. If he continues on this type of trajectory with his vision and his feel for the game, he could end up in that conversation. I'm not saying he's there. Like, I'm not a prisoner of the moment. I respect the history and the legacy of our game. But if you watch him play with these amount of possessions that they play with having a coach like Rick Carlisle, with how he sets up teammates and makes everybody else on this team exponentially better. Look at the players. Nimhard and company makes them better.
Absolutely brilliant. And Jay, I love when you dive in the pool of hyperbole. It makes it more fun. But there's also, you have to look at those shots. The role we just showed, he was open. He found himself on an island with Mitchell Robinson, and he was killing him there. He also found himself against Jalen Brunson, and he killed him on drives. And Mikal Bridges, who had defended him well, 5 of 15 shooting when Mikal Bridges guarded him the first 3 games, he was getting downhill, shoulder down, and running Bridges off screens. He was much more aggressive in this game than he was in Game 3 and in Game 2, and that was such a difference maker. And off of that, and him being aggressive with his offense, trying to score, that's opening up things. His vision is elite, Jay. I'm with you on that. But the Knicks defense was pathetic.
True.
Stopping at point of attack. And that's why they won Game 3. It's why they also lost Game 4. Their great defense, point of attack in Game 3 was nowhere near to be found in Game 4.
I can't control what kind of defense you play.
But when you're left wide open, I would expect you to make the shot.
Yeah, but a lot of these shots, some of these shots were contested. I mean, or they're really deep.
I didn't see one in that room.
They're like 2.5 feet behind the three-point line, actually. Yeah, they're really deep. I mean, so also, it's my job to read the defense constantly and make the right reads over and over and over. I just don't want to minimize how hard it is to play 38 minutes, to take some of the crazy-ass passes he made and have 0 turnovers.
Yeah,
zero turnovers in Game 4. Don't minimize that by saying
amazing.
He was open, Allen.
No. In a conference finals game to play 37 minutes and not turn the ball over, and you had the ball probably 30% of the time. Like, his usage was definitely over 30, right? Had to be in this game.
Hembo.
That is incredible.
Hembo, 32 points plus 38 points created on his assists equals 70 of his team's 105 points during his 38 minutes. Yeah. Essentially, during his time, every 2 of 3 points he created on the court.
Jay, when you played, if 4 guys were on defense and you were left open a lot.
That's on you. That's on Tibbs.
Yes.
That's on coaching. That's on strategy. That's on your players' endurance.
The Knicks should be embarrassed by this.
So you're saying it's more about the Knicks' defense.
Advantage of it.
So you're saying it's more about the Knicks' defense than it is about Haliburton's performance? Because I would disagree.
I would say it's dead even.
It's perhaps a combination of the two, one way or another.
Sorry, guys, for arguing.
No. I enjoy the arguing. And let me go back to the beginning of the series. Windy, you told us before the series began, Rick Carlisle was approaching this with the long game in mind, that he felt that his team, their depth, their pace, all of that was going to wear the Knicks out. And the reality, and they steal Game 1, and that winds up going a long way towards changing the trajectory of the series. But as we watch these clips, as we watch the highlight that you put up earlier, the Pacers look so much faster.
Yep.
They're beating them down the floor all night long. The Knicks do look tired. I think Rick Carlisle has done an unbelievably good job, Windy, in this series.
Yeah, there's a clip in this second half where Tom Thibodeau is on the mic. They've got the audio, and he's in the huddle excoriating his players not to jog, to sprint, to run. Don't let the Pacers run past you. And as he's saying this, he's got Mikal Bridges and Karl Towns and I think maybe Josh Hart in front of him, and they are panting. They're literally sitting on the bench, heaving, getting air coming off the court, and Tibbs is asking them for more, which is, what a coach has to do, but that's what the Pacers want. They want the Knicks heaving for breath and thinking about how they have to run faster. The depth in this, in general, I think in this playoffs, you've seen where depth makes such a big difference. The depth of the Thunder makes a huge difference. The depth of the Pacers makes a huge difference. This is their game plan. But I will say, I go back to the fact that the Knicks let Game 1 go. If they had taken care of Game 1, they're 2-2 coming back home with home court advantage. It's letting that game go, the Pacers plucking these games out like they did against the Cavs, that has given them the margin for error that now the Knicks have to fight uphill against.
That's exactly right. And look, we said it at the time, in a series that figures to be dead even, you cannot give a game away at home and not expect it to come back and bite you, and clearly it has. So, Chiney, give me the big picture final word on it here for the moment. I mean, the Pacers, there's a part of me that just wants to say, as you watch this series play out, they're just a better team. They're deeper. They have more different places they can go. They're less dependent on one thing to happen, and they're taking advantage of the Knicks' defensive flaws.
Yeah, I would say the one thing to keep in mind moving forward is being able to mask your weaknesses. The reason why we saw a superstar performance in this game from Tyrese Haliburton is that people consider his weakness potentially being his perimeter shooting. What does he do? He goes down, knocks down threes, uses that confidence to really find his teammates to get open. Now, on the other side for the Knicks, the weakness is their defense. Their weakness is the defense of Jalen Brunson, who I said earlier, the Pacers will force you to be on your heels. And what happened? I saw so many plays with Brunson on the ground. Their defense was not there. If he can mask that weakness, especially that you'll see right here, it'll help him build offensively, right? Instead of being a defensive liability. Here you see them. They're literally targeting him multiple times on possessions. The Pacers are offensively. That wears on you, as we were talking about Rick Carlisle's strategy. So overall, one, defense has to be better. You have to stay in your stance. And also you have to get him shots, because he was 1 for 3, the clutch player of the year, Brunson, in the fourth quarter. So which team masks their weaknesses will have the best shot moving forward?
Brunson a minus 16 in the game last night.
NBA